What if I told you there's a force out there so powerful it's been called the eighth wonder of the world? No, it's not magic. It's a financial concept called compound interest. And over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how it works, and more importantly, how you can put it to work for you. So let's just kick things off with a big question. That $100 you might spend on coffee or a couple of streaming services every month, could that actually make you a millionaire? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But the answer might just surprise you. Believe it or not, the answer is yes. But look, this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. Not at all. It's about a fundamental principle of building wealth. It's an engine that can turn small, consistent actions into an absolute fortune. And that engine runs on compounding. So let's dive into the so-called magic of compounding. And it really does feel like magic, but it's just math. Simple math that you can use to build your financial future. So what exactly is it? Well, compound interest is just earning interest on your interest. Think of it like this. You've got a tiny snowball at the top of a really long snowy hill. As it starts to roll, it picks up a little more snow. But the bigger it gets, the more snow it picks up with every single turn. Your money works the exact same way. Your first investment earns some interest, that interest gets added back into the pot, and now that bigger pot starts earning even more interest. It's this incredible, self-fueling cycle of growth. And just look at the difference here. Simple interest. It's just a straight, predictable line. You only ever earn on the money you first put in. But compound interest, that's the curve that shoots for the sky. And why is that? It's because your money starts working for you, and then the money that money made starts working for you too. That's the exponential magic right there. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how do I make this happen for me? Well, it's not some random thing. You're actually in the driver's seat. There are 3 key levers you can pull to control just how fast and how big your financial snowball gets. So here they are. Time. Think of that as your runway for growth. Then there's rate. That's your speed. And finally, consistency. That's the fuel you keep adding to the tank. And I really want you to remember this. Of these 3, time is by far the most powerful of them all. It's the secret sauce. All right, enough theory. Let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. This is where we see how that tiny snowball can become a full-blown financial avalanche. Let's stick with our $100 a month. It's an amount most of us can wrap our heads around, and we'll just assume a pretty standard historical average return of about 7% a year. Now let's see what happens. So you put away $100 every single month for 30 years. You do the math, that's $36,000 that came out of your own pocket. That's what you put in, okay? Keep that number, 36 grand, in your head. But after those 30 years, your account isn't sitting there with 36,000. Nope, it's worth nearly $122,000. And that huge gap, well, that's where the story gets really, really good. This chart just lays it all out. That smaller bar, that's your money, the $36,000 you saved. But that huge bar next to it, that's $86,000 of pure growth from compounding. Your money made more money than you did. That right there, that's the power we're talking about. That example was pretty incredible, but what it doesn't fully capture is the insane importance of that number one lever, time. This next comparison is going to show you exactly why it is so critical to start this process as early as you possibly can. Okay, really lean into this slide because this is so important. We've got person A who starts investing at 22 and person B who just waits 10 years and starts at 32. Now, person B does great, ends up with about $450,000. That's fantastic. But person A, just by starting a decade earlier, ends up with nearly $1 million. We're talking more than double the wealth, all because they gave their money 10 more years to do its thing. So the big takeaway here is simple, but it is absolutely profound. Starting early is way more powerful than trying to play catch-up by contributing more later. That first decade gave person A's money a head start that person B could never, ever overcome. When it comes to compounding, time is your greatest superpower. So now that we get the what and the why, let's talk about the how. How can you actually apply this? Let's look at a really simple tool to help you visualize your own path to growth. This is one of my favorite little financial rules of thumb because it is so simple and so powerful. It's called the Rule of 72. All you do is take the number 72 and divide it by your expected annual interest rate. The answer you get is a pretty good estimate of how many years it's going to take for your money to double. So how's this work in the real world? Well,
If you're earning a 6% return, your money's going to double in about 12 years. If you can get 8%, it only takes 9 years. And at a really healthy 10% return, you're doubling your money roughly every 7 years. It's just a fantastic little mental shortcut to see how fast your money can really grow.
But, and this is maybe the most crucial piece of the entire puzzle, all of this math, all of this potential, it all depends on one human behavior: consistency. That compounding chain is incredibly powerful, but you know what? It's also fragile. The biggest challenge here isn't the math, it's our own psychology. It's resisting that urge to pull your money out when the market gets scary, because the moment you do that, you break the chain and you just torpedo all of your progress. And that really leads us to the final takeaway. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need a huge pile of cash to get started. You just need to start, give your money the time it needs to grow, and have the discipline to just stay the course. What you really need is patience and consistency. And that is how a tiny snowball truly becomes an avalanche.